If you're learning Arabic, it is highly advised that you start doing that in the beginning using a pen and a paper to train your muscles to draw letters and words properly. But afterwards, if you need to start using a computer, in case you want to look up some words in a dictionary or if you just want to check some sources, then you will be confronted with this keyboard that you probably have at home. This keyboard has no Arabic keys. What should you do then? Today I have 10 solutions for you to get over this problem. But before then, make sure you have the Arabic keyboard installed on your system. If you don't know how to do so, make sure you check out this video and I will leave the link in the description as well.
Solution number 1. Using a keyboard chart. This is a printable chart that could be used along with your English keyboard, and it looks like this. You'll also find it in the second link in the description. At first it will be a hit and miss, and it will take some time until you've adapted to the placement of letters. Using it on the long run, however, could be less than ideal, because it's a really time-consuming method and it isn't really that much fun. So all in all, I think it's not the easiest way to go through this process. It is not a very time-efficient method. It is not very effective, especially if you're going to type a longer text. It's going to take you a lot of time, so it's not very effective. And using it in the long run is not the best idea. So that's why it got these ratings. Solution number 2. Blind typing. There are a few websites out there that can help you learn how to type blindly. Like this website, for example. I'll leave its link in the description as well. After 16 lessons, you'll be able to type without looking at the keyboard. So it doesn't matter then if you have an English keyboard or Arabic keyboard. And this is particularly useful in case you want to type longer pieces of text. So let's start by going to the first lesson to see how it looks like. First, you're going to be confronted with this screen to let you choose which style you want to use to learn typing. I'm going to leave it as it is and just going to click on Start. Once you do that, you're going to see a piece of text that you can see on the top here, and this is the text that you're going to be using to train yourself. And you should start by putting both your index fingers at the letters J and F. You should be feeling these two little bumps on the keyboard. So, all in all, you will be placing your fingers at the J and F as I mentioned in the beginning, and you will be trying to type what you see on screen without having to look at the keyboard. If you make a mistake, it will show you which keys you should hit and with which finger you should be pressing this key. So in general, blind typing is one of the best methods that I can recommend to anyone who is interested in learning how to type in Arabic, because the time that you're spending right now, you will be investing it for later. So it's not the easiest, it's gonna cost some time, but in the long run it is very effective because if you learn how to type blindly in Arabic, you'll basically be able to type on any keyboard without having to worry about if it's an Arabic or an English keyboard. Solution number 3. Using your phone or tablet. If you can't find a physical keyboard to type on, you can just simply use a vertical one. You can install an Arabic keyboard on your Android or Apple smartphones. I guess most of us already know how to do that. And if you don't know, I'm going to leave some links in the description to help you do so. The idea is pretty simple. You're going to type whatever text you want on your phone, then send it over to your PC or computer. Once you do that, you can start processing the text that you have sent to your computer the way you want. Or you could just simply use your phone to look up the words that you want to use instead of using their computer. So this method is pretty easy to use because it's available almost to anyone. It doesn't really save a lot of time because you're going to have to send text from your phone to your computer every time you want to process the text on your computer. It is effective because it just works, but on the long run it is not very advisable, especially if you want to deal with longer pieces of text. Solution number 4. Using Google Translate Transliteration. This method is very useful for those people who started learning Arabic recently and they just want to start typing without having to have an Arabic keyboard. Transliteration means writing Arabic words but using English alphabet. In order to work with this method, you need to go to Google Translate and then choose Arabic as the language here on the left. On the right, you can choose whatever language you want. Then make sure that you have this first option checked, which is the transliteration option. We're going to try to type a sentence, a very simple sentence, to see how this works and what you can learn from it. Pay attention because we're going to be using the numbers to replace the special sounds and letters in Arabic like kh, ghain, dad, ta. I'm putting a chart on the screen right now so that you can see how I'm using the numbers to make up for these differences. The sentence that we want to type is أنا أحب اللغة العربية. So this means that the first word is أنا, which is made up of A, N, A. And then you're going to see all the options that come up after typing A and A. Usually, the first option is the most likely that you can choose. And you can do that by typing space. Then the word أحب starts with O, أحب. Then ha is 7. And then E, B will give you أحب. As you can see, it comes up as the first option. So you can just hit space and then it will be typed for you. اللغة will start with AL and then another L, اللغة, LO, 3 apostrophe, and then A, اللغة. And then you will see that the first option is exactly what you wanted it to be. So hit space one more time and then العربية will start with AL and then 3 ARB AYA. And then al-Arabiya, as you can see, is the last word. So now you have a complete sentence in Arabic using special sounds and letters from Arabic without even having to have an Arabic keyboard. So in general, this is a pretty handy method. It's not very difficult. It is very easy to use. It also saves a lot of time because you can just get started on it. You don't really have to install any program or do anything. It is pretty effective because it just gets the job done. Using it on the long run, however, is another story because if you can get the hang of it pretty easily and quickly, then it will be a good option for you to choose. But if it's a bit difficult for you to type Arabic in English, then I would go for another method. Also, another thing that I have to say for this method is I don't really recommend that you're going to be using this for a long period of time and as for your main method to type in Arabic because it will not really have a very good effect on your learning process. It is best to learn Arabic using Arabic letters. Solution number 5. Using Google Click Keyboard. This is a pretty simple tool that you could use in order to type a couple of words using your mouse without having to go through any complicated method. You can find it by going to Google Translate and then choosing the second option. Once you click on it, you will see the keyboard coming up on the screen. You can use it in 2 ways. First, you could just click on the words that you want to type by clicking on the keys that you want to use. You could also use it as an input chart by looking at the screen and back at your keyboard so that you can match which key corresponds with which key you have on your keyboard. So you could still type using your English keyboard. Of course, this is not the ideal method because you're going to have to keep looking at the screen and back at your keyboard, so it's a pretty slow process. So in my opinion, when it comes to the ease of use, it is pretty easy, but it's going to cost a lot of time because if you just need to enter a word, you're going to have to use your mouse. This is not the ideal way to type. Its effectiveness is pretty low in my opinion, and using it in the long run, for me, it is almost impossible that you can use this method to type a whole text. Solution number 6. Using Google's Handwriting to Text tool. This is quite a fun way to try and type in Arabic. It also trains your skill to draw letters and words. Though you'll have to do that using your mouse, it also could still be a lot of fun to try out. So of course it requires using the other option, the last option that we have on Google Translate, and that is then the Arabic Handwrite. Now I'm going to give you some space here that you can type in. You're going to try to draw the letter as you would normally do on a piece of paper. Like, for example, I'm going to try Ana, and then you're going to try to find which word it's kind of recognize what I said here. So Ana, and then space, and then أحب, and then you're going to choose this, and then اللغة العربية. And that's how we type this sentence. أنا أحب اللغة العربية. So this solution is pretty easy to use. It's not the easiest because you're going to have to be very good when it comes to using the mouse to type or kind of draw letters. It's going to cost a lot of time in order to get one sentence done, but it is pretty effective if you just want to type 1 or 2 words, if that suits your need. On the long run, it is almost impossible for you to use this method to type a whole text unless this is your goal, which is to try to train your Arabic drawing skills. Solution number 7. Use speech to text tool. You can also use this very simple website, which is speechnotes.co, to type without even having to have a keyboard. All what you need to do is visit the website speechnotes.co, and then you will see this screen. First, you need to choose the language that you want to use to dictate your text. And of course, we can use any of the Arabic versions. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but I'm gonna go with the one from Egypt. And then when you want to start, you can just simply click on the microphone and then start dictating. Let's try to type something together. Assalamu alaikum. مرحبا. أنا أحب اللغة العربية. As you can see, it is pretty simple and it actually works pretty good. Afterwards, you could just take the text and you can copy it and do whatever you want with it. The only problem is that you really have to be pretty good at pronunciation, otherwise the program will not register your speech properly. So when it comes to this method, I think it's pretty easy to use. It is also time efficient because you can just simply type a whole text just by reading it out loud. It is less than ideal, it's not really that effective because it doesn't really serve everyone in case you can't really pronounce all the letters properly. And using it in the long run is not really the best solution in my opinion. Solution number 8. A chart sticker. If you don't like the previous solutions and you can't or you don't want to buy a new keyboard, then this and the next solutions are for you. You can simply print the keyboard chart that we talked about at the beginning of the video on a sticker printing paper. Once you do that, then you can stick it on your keyboard. Be careful not to use it on an expensive keyboard, otherwise if you remove the stickers, it could leave the keyboard sticky afterwards. So I suggest using it on an old or just a cheap keyboard. So in general, this is a pretty easy solution for those people who don't want to buy a new keyboard. It will cost you some time to get it done, but at the end of the day, it is a time-efficient method because it will save you time later. It is effective, but using it on the long run is a big chance that the stickers will wear out and you will have to do this one more time. And if you don't have a printer or a sticker printing paper, there is still a solution for you. And that is using nail polish. You could use nail polish to draw the Arabic letters on the keys of your keyboard. I have to remind you not to use it on a keyboard that you use daily or your favorite keyboard, because then it could ruin it if you don't want to use it anymore. So this method is also pretty easy to use, but you have to be able to draw the Arabic letters properly, and the results could be a little bit disappointing if you don't know how to draw properly. It is time efficient and effective because then you could use the keyboard for a longer period of time, but on the long run, like I said, these solutions are pretty much temporary until you buy another keyboard because they will wear out eventually. Solution number 10. Buying an Arabic keyboard. Well, obviously, this is the easiest solution of all. There are dozens of Arabic keyboards that you can find on Amazon. I'm going to leave some links in the description for you to check out. Obviously, this is going to be the easiest solution, the most time-saving, and the most effective. However, it is not the best on the long run because in my opinion, learning how to type blindly is the best solution on the long run. And if you're wondering which of these 10 methods that I'm using, I'm actually using just a regular English keyboard. I used to have an Arabic keyboard and I used it so often that right now I don't need it anymore and I just know where the keys are, so I don't need to have an Arabic keyboard anymore. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of today's lesson. I hope you've learned something new today. If you have, Please like and share the video for other people to learn from it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Salam.